We are ready to make the bridge plate for this D-35 that I took the plate out of earlier today, and the top separation is totally closed up, which, you know, sometimes it does close up pretty fast. Here's the bubbling on the top. It's really mild, and I should be able to work that down a little bit. Probably what happened was that wash rag was a little bit too stiff still. You know, I don't like them, like I said, I don't like them that stiff, but I needed to get going, and it probably just didn't cool that one little spot right there. So we'll get it worked out a little bit. It's pushed down pretty good already. You know, I noticed you can really see that top flex, you know, when you're pushing on it. That's one way I test a guitar for scalloping, is kind of push on that top. See how soft it is. This is a pretty soft top. You definitely would not want to scallop this guitar. It's D-35. I don't scallop D-35s anyways. Okay, here's a template. I use this for my bridge plates. I made it from something. It's 1 5/8 of an inch from the front to the back, 1 5/8 of an inch from here to here. And I'll show you in a second how I check the fit of the bridge plate. But this is my standard template. So there's a piece of maple from Luthier's Mercantile. I'm going to use maple on this guitar because it's a D-35. D-35s tend to be bassy and dull. Maple's brighter than black locust, usually. I mean, I have a tap test on there, and people say, oh, they like the maple better. So, all right, maple, you know. Nothing wrong with maple. It's good wood. Anyway, I get it from Luthier's Mercantile. I prefer to have a pretty strong, wide grain like that. I don't want to get... I don't mind if it got a little curl in it, because then there's not a straight grain line that's going to crack. A good bridge plate ought to be not quite quarter-shon like this, but have a little bit of an angle to it, to the grain. See if you can see it on the end there. It's not straight up and down, it's a little bit of an angle like this. And again, that just helps keep it from splitting, that sort of thing. Okay, here's my template. And I'm just going to lay it on here. Pick the grain that I like. And there's nothing magical about that. I always give it like about 1/8 of an inch more than this template, because I can take that off, you know, if I want to. I've got a treble side and a bass side to this. Draw it on there with my pencil on. One of these days I'll make one of these out of plexiglass, but this is a stiff cardboard. It works pretty good. And then I'm going to take this all the way to the edge this way. Let's flip it over. Get it on there. Okay, there's my bridge plate. I'm going to walk over to the bandsaw right here and the sander, and I'm going to cut it, and then we'll come back to the guitar. Here's my bridge plate. Nice and roughed out right now. I'm going to check it for the fit. And the first thing I'm going to do is put it in here, and I'm going to check the corners, and we'll switch to the GoPro again. I thought the GoPro looked pretty good, so. I use a clamp to just kind of hold it up so I can get my hand out of here. And I need to look in the sound hole. Take this mirror so I can look at it from angles. Pretty good. So. Use a clamp and just kind of hold it up so I can get my hand out of here. And I need to look in the sound hole. Take this mirror so I can look at it from angles. Okay, that fits really nice. Sometimes I don't get it on the first shot, and I have to sand a little bit on the angle. What I want is for the angle of the bridge plate to sit right up against the brace. I don't want any gaps or anything. Then I take a pencil and I draw pinholes through the original pinholes. Bring the bridge plate out, and there's my pencil marks. And they're pretty far forward, which is what I want. Now, I'm going to get this guy, I'm going to get this bridge. This bridge is going to scoot back 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to set it on here. I'm going to find the marks that I put. I'm going to push the bridge back about 1/8 of an inch. And that's where the bridge is going to sit on this bridge plate. So this bridge plate is actually just a little bit larger in the back here than it could be, than it needs to be. I've got about that much showing on the front, which is fine. A little bit extra up front doesn't hurt anything. I could trim that, you know. That's kind of a lot to be shown in the back. But given the softness of this top, which is pretty soft, you know what I think? I think I'm going to probably just leave that alone. That's probably a little bit more than I would do on a D-28 that I have scalloped. But this top looks a little soft, so I think I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go over to my belt sander and I'm going to bevel these edges here to produce a strain relief. If I wanted to make this smaller, there's two ways I could do it. One way would be to just go trim, and I might just go do this too. Sand off about 1/8 of an inch on each of these rings, and that would allow the whole plate to slide forward on the X braces. So, I'm probably going to go do that. I'm going to take a little bit off and slide that plate forward just a little bit. I'm not going to reduce the size of the plate, but I'm going to slide it forward on the braces. The way I do that is to just take a ruler. I'm not going to draw on this guitar, but I'm going to set it here. And then just set this down like this, and then draw a pencil line along it. And then I'll have something to keep this nice angle. It looks good. Okay? Like this. And just take a pencil. Draw it along like that. Now I got a mark. Probably about the time I sand that off, it'll be just about right. And again, I'll check it, you know. I'm using the frets to keep it level. And I got some nice little marks. So we'll be back again. Here's the revised bridge plate. And I've got some bevels right here. These are stress reliefs. Martin doesn't do this, but a lot of other people do. And what that does is keeps from having a sharp edge right here. It allows a little bit of stress relief on the plate. I think most custom builders would do that kind of thing. Doesn't hurt anything. I'm going to check the fit again. The fit is the most critical thing about the bridge plate, of course. You don't want any gaps or sloppiness or anything like that. So I'm going to check it again because I did sand it. Like that side. So it's got just a little bit of a gap, and make sure it's sitting in there. Check that. Okay. We'll look at it on the GoPro, but there's a little bit of a gap at the forward edge right here. Right up in here when it's up against the brush. So I need to take a little bit off the back edge right here. I happen to have a sanded in bevel already on the wood right there. Because one thing I do is bevel the edges of the plate just a little bit right here so that there's, if there's any old glue or anything right up against the side, it'll clear. It's just, again, it's a stress relief. So I'm going to go back over there and I'm going to take a little bit off of this edge right here and I'll be back. Test fit number 3. You'll see my fingers on the GoPro, and you gotta wiggle that plate forward, make sure it's sitting there snug. Inside looks good. Inside looks a lot better now. Now I'm gonna draw my pencil marks again, and I can see the original ones, and I can see that it's scooted forward a little bit. So I bet this would be about right. See? You can see the old mark right there, and you can see the new marks right behind it. So I scooted the plate forward almost an entire pinhole. And now we're going to set this on here That's where it's sitting right now. And the bridge is going to scoot back probably about that much. And so that's what we're looking at right now. Not that much overhang, and you can see from this that the edge of the bevel is going to come pretty close to the end of the bridge right there. And that'll be alright. That'll give a little bit of support. You notice that I make my bridge plates off on the corner. Like I don't put a double short corner like this. Authentics and pre-Will Martins are cut here. I think I see more belly problems that way. I just prefer it this way. I like to run this corner all the way to the base. Okay? So there's my bridge plate. Now the other thing I do with my bridge plates is I sign them. I put my name, the date, and the kind of wood and the kind of glue that it is, just for future information. So, Brian Kimsey, June 2019, maple, and fish glue. Once in a while, sometimes I like to measure them, caliper them. 125. You know, that's one thing. Pre-war bridge plates are a little, about 90 thousandths of an inch, and I like my plates a little bit thicker. I like them more like about 125, 110, 125. Pulls the ball ends down. It's a stiffer plate. Just what I like, you know. 0.125 inch, eighth of an inch. Okay, now I'm going to take a sanding block. I'm going to go in there and sand the top nice and smooth to get all the old glue out, prep the surface for the new glue. So we'll switch to the GoPro. Man, that top is soft right there. Like, man, I'm pushing it. You watch on the GoPro and see if you can see this. Wow. Not gonna hurt. Watch on the GoPro and see if you can see this. Wow. Not the thing to support that top just a little bit more. Here's the bridge plate now. I'm going to sand the top of it too. You've got to get a clean surface here. Oxidation will build up on this and keep the glue from sticking and doing its job. So you want to clean this up. Normally I have a sanding pad over there and I would sand it on that, but you know, this is good enough. You can see over here. Okay, that's nice and clean. We're ready to glue. Get the dust off of that. I'm going to use fish glue. I'm going to get 3 clamps. Three of these clamps, and they have the plastic cawls on them. You'll see that from inside the guitar, but I like to use those because they give a wider surface for clamping. You could use, I don't like to use cawls, you know, bridge plate looking cawls on the inside of the guitar. The reason is I've had them, the plate slip, and you'll never see it again. You know, you never see it until you take it off and, oh man, it slipped. If you want to use a cawl, I would suggest that you clamp the bridge plate on there for 10 or 15 minutes. Then take your clamps off and then go put the cawl on there. You know, that way it's stuck, it started to bond. And you know, you can use a cawl to flatten it. But by that time it's already glued on, and so, you know. Okay, fish glue. I trust fish glue. I like it, especially for a bridge plate. You know, this really isn't stressed. The string ends are pulling it up, and it's not like a bridge where someone's trying to rip it off. It's actually pulling it up in there. I found fish glue to be pretty strong, so I smear it on here. Smear the edges. Smear the edges like that, because I want that to glue to it. I want that to glue to the braces. Okay? So I've got glue on the edges, I've got glue up on top, a little bit of a drip right there. Stick it in there. The glue, at this point, will help you jam the plate into position. In there. Glue, at this point, will help you jam the plate into position. Hold it, and I'm going to check it with my mirror that I just put up. I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to check it with my mirror that I just put up. Yeah, I like it. That fit really nice. Okay. Give me some clamping power here. Use coils on top. Set it up in there. And we'll switch to the GoPro. Put it up in there. And we'll switch to the GoPro. What I'm going to do now, because I'm scooting this bridge back, I'm going to do one of the fixtures I did on the other guitars, the HD28. I'm going to plug these bridge holes with little pieces of dowels that I've already got cut and ready to go. There's enough glue squeeze out right up here that I can get these in there. Oh, let me a little piece of wood right up there. This gets the front edge of the bridge plate. Oh, let me a little piece of wood right up there. This gets the front edge of the bridge plate. I like to see a little bit of glue squeeze out. Some people are, they panic when they see glue squeeze out, but I like to see it because then I know that I've got it. Light comes out, and I got to figure out how to get that GoPro out of there now. like to see a little bit of glue squeeze out. Some people are, they panic when they see glue squeeze out, but I like to see it because then I know that I've got enough glue. Okay. Light comes out, and I got to figure out how to get that GoPro out of there now.